The people's quote of the day: a diligent man makes rich, not a privileged man. You are now listening to episode 17 of the People's Mentors podcast featuring Juan Pablo. DJ Cool, play a rich sounding instrumental, please. Okay, we're back. Thank you guys for joining in. Let's go over today's topic. There's only one way to get rich. All right, let's go over the outline. Okay, first point I'd like to mention is what doesn't make you rich? And two, what does diligence actually mean? Very short and sweet today for these two podcast episodes. So this was derived from the people's question. And this is a question I received from a family member. If only my demographics, you insert the word, if only my demographics were different, do you think it'll be easier for me to get rich? So certain people, they believe that other people have it better than them simply because they were brought into this world differently than others, right? They believe that certain people have it easier than others simply because, this other person had a silver spoon in their mouth, and they came from a certain demographic that provided them with better opportunities. So if you had less opportunities, then the only thing that means to me is that you get to grow in other areas in which your counterpart didn't have the opportunity to do. And in my case, that, or many of the people who are listening, that could just be hard work. You know, not everyone has been granted fortunate opportunities to get started in business, but granted that you weren't presented with those fortunate opportunities, it will force you to be creative and to work hard. So let's go with the first one. Luck alone doesn't make you rich. Your skin color, your eye color, your hair color, none of those things make you rich. Your education alone, your institutionalized education does not make you rich. Your boldness or action doesn't just make you rich. Your rich uncle doesn't make you rich. The profession you chose doesn't make you rich. Now, that might be thought-provoking for some to actually consider that. Well, this other person is rich because they have a different skin color than me. Or this other person is rich because they went to an Ivy League education. They had an Ivy League education. Or this other person is rich because they take massive action and they're bold and courageous. They're not afraid to move forward ahead in uncharted territory. None of that stuff makes you rich. Just because you're an action taker, you take massive action. But if you take a massive action in the wrong direction or massive action in the wrong things, will that equate to riches? No. And if you're super smart and you're not taking action as well, will that lead to riches? No. Because if you're just a brainiac, a bookworm, and you just overanalyze things, analysis paralysis, in other words, and you're not really pulling the trigger, then no, you will not get rich. Let's get into the second point. A diligent man maketh rich. So what is diligence? And diligence is defined as the following. Diligence is eagerness and careful work done persistently. So if you're eager and you take massive action without calculated risk, do you think you'll get rich? Of course not. And I actually fall victim to that. I'm actually speaking to myself. I'm always eager to take action. As soon as I get an idea, I want to run with it. But sometimes I realize, oh man, I hit my head against the wall simply because I didn't even plan it out first. I didn't take any calculated risk before I took action. So if you're careful and you analyze everything, but you aren't eager to take action and to implement your ideas, will that make you rich? No, not at all. As I mentioned, just because you're an advocate of analysis, but you're not taking action, analysis paralysis, that too will not get you rich. If you're careful and eager to do business, but you only do it once, will that equate to riches? If you think about it, the answer is no as well. Just because you take careful consideration, you do the analysis, and you are eager, but you just do it once and it didn't pan out the way you wanted it to, so you just stopped and quit. That's what that means by that, being persistent. You have to continue to push forward. You can tell, guys, it actually takes a combination of all three. If you're in real estate, for example, because I know a lot of our followers are avid real estate investors, you have to be careful, Learn all you can about real estate. That's what I mean by being careful, taking calculated measures, analyze, do your research, and so forth. Then once you know about 70% of the information you need to know, then you have to be eager and take action. Immediate action. The universe loves speed. Then after you take action and you realize you might have failed at some things need to be reworked, retweaked a tad bit, then it takes a level of persistence on your part to keep going. So that's what a diligent man is. It is a person who is careful, then takes action, eager, and is persistent until they get the desired result, which is what? Riches. So once I learned this proverb, a diligent man maketh rich, it really hit me. Because I had to say that to a lot of people I know, and they get really challenged by this mindset because they believe that, no, a lucky man gets rich. You got to hit the lotto. You got to roll that dice. You have to gamble. You just happen to be at the right place at the right time and the right opportunity fell in your lap, and voila, you're rich. It's not the case. So a lucky man doesn't just get rich. Or they think, oh, a certain skin color man gets rich. Not me. Because nobody in my intermediate family, friends, circles, none of my colleagues are rich. So it'll be foolish for me to think that I'll get rich because no one who looks like me is rich. Or my gender. It's a man's world. So being that it's a man's world, only men can be rich. And being that I'm a woman, no, I can't. It's unfair. They have an unfair advantage. And it's really your mindset, guys. A diligent man maketh rich. Just be diligent. Don't just stop something and quit it. Don't just start something without doing the careful analysis. Don't just start something without being eager and taking action. You need a combination of all three to be wealthy. So once I learned this proverb, I dispelled all those misconceptions I had about riches, about wealth. I had to dispel all those negative beliefs that I had within my subconscious so that I can become wealthy and to become rich. I realized, wow, the only thing that's holding me back from being rich is my lack of diligence. I cannot blame the market. I cannot blame a competitor. I cannot blame a vendor or a partner or an employee who ripped me off. I cannot blame my background, my demographics, my skin color, my age, my height, my sex. I cannot blame my upbringing. Oh, my mother didn't treat me right, or I never had a support group. No one ever cared about me. No one ever gave me a loan when I needed it. Stop it. To be quite frank, it sounds pathetic, right? When you put it that way, it really is. Because you have to understand, no, the only obstacle that's holding you back from your riches is you. It's your lack of diligence. Now, I don't care if you live in another country, and you might say, well, Juan, I'm in a communist society. Or, hey, Juan, we're in a socialist society. Or, hey, Juan, I had a hard upbringing. You know, I grew up very impoverished and around a lot of people who didn't have a wealth mindset. Whatever the case may be, my friend, you have to understand this. We live in a world of abundance, period. The world is bigger than your country. In fact, your dreams, your goals, your desires, your passion has to be bigger than these obstacles that are standing in your way. And you have to exercise diligence. Okay? Excellent. There you have it, my friend. So now we're going to switch segments in this program. You know it's that time for the People's Champ. Shout out to my real estate agent, Dave, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, for being diligent in regard to helping one of my clients get a 5-unit rolling, right? So we ran into an issue in which the buyer's agent didn't want to play ball. She's not too familiar with commercial properties and working with investors. You know, they can be a tad bit more savvy than the person buying their house for their own personal use. So he's working with this agent, and she was just giving him a hard time. And he really wanted to just drop this deal and say, hey, Juan, I love working with you as a client, as well as your other client, your student. But this lady is really getting on my nerves, and I don't want to move forward. But he was being diligent. If he wasn't being diligent, would he have been careful with his words to see how he can renegotiate the deal? Eager, hey, even though she's being a pain in the butt to work with, I'm going to be persistent as well and take action. So being that he was diligent, we end up moving forward with this deal to get this thing rolling. So shout out to you, Dave, and shout out to Dwayne as well if you're listening to the podcast, because it's just a great honor to work with you, Dwayne, get a deal closed for you. I'm glad to have you as a mentee. Now let's get into the sponsor part of the show.
Listen up. Let's get this money.
This podcast episode is sponsored by 100% Finance. If you're interested in getting started in real estate investing without using any of your own money and would like to obtain business funding, visit 100percentfinance.com to apply for the free consultation. In 2017 alone, we helped small business owners, real estate investors alike obtain over $5.5 million, and you can be in the same position as well. So you can quit your day job via passive income. The link is in the description. All right, guys, that concludes today's podcast. Short and sweet, but at the end of the day, be diligent, careful, eager, persistent, work smart, and work hard so we can all get this money. See you in the next episode, guys. Peace.
Peace.